Hi everybody and welcome back to Cozy Cards and Crystals. My name is Joanna and today it's already time for another time travel. This time through the month of April. So welcome to my monthly review where I share with you guys my cards of the month, the crystals and decks that I worked with for the month, or at least the favorites, some favorite games that I played during the month, and some podcasts and TarotTube favorites that I watched over the month of April. Of course, as always, I will have timestamps in the video description down below so you can skip to the section that you're most excited about, or can skip the sections that you don't want to listen to me ramble about. So let's dive right in. So my card for the month in my year ahead reading with the tarot was the Knight of Cups, and the accompanying oracle card that I drew at the beginning of this month was Coral with Community. And what should I say? The month of April was a really watery and a really emotional and heart-centered month. So these cards were on point. So I really struggled for a long time already, basically throughout my whole life, or at least since I'm a teenager, with my emotional self. I have the false belief in my head, and that stems from some past experiences that I had, that I'm not allowed to have emotions. I need to function. I need to do the things perfectly, that are expected from me, that I'm here to do, that I need to do. And there's no room for emotions in my way. And even though I have them, I'm not allowing myself to really feel them or even express them because A, it makes me vulnerable and attackable, and B, I believe that it's uncomfortable and annoying for the people that are around me. And so, of course, that's total bullshit, but that is some beliefs that are in my head right now, and some beliefs that I struggle with and that I currently work on also with the help of therapy. And so, right now, I have reached a stage in the therapy work in progress, so to speak, where all of these emotions, where I'm aware of these beliefs and that I have these beliefs and that they're bullshit. And I'm also now knowing where they are stemming from and which experiences that are basically the fuel for those beliefs. And so now I'm working on, yeah, to prove me wrong actually, and working on these past experiences and letting them go and finally seeing that it hasn't or it doesn't have to turn out the same way as in the past. And so all these emotions start to rise up and making me aware of them being there and existing. And so I also had a lot of really deep, intense emotional dreams, so that's basically the first step of me processing these emotions and acknowledging and being aware of that I'm a human being, I'm an emotional being, and that's totally fine. And also the trust to connect and reach out to others. And so these two cards are really fitting for the month of April. Next up, let's talk about the decks that I worked with this month. So first of all, the Oracle deck that I worked with, you already saw a card from it. It's the Fauna Inspiration Illumination cards. And so for this month, first of all, we're having a theme here. These are watercolor images. So again, water, like the flow and the connection to water. I didn't think about it when I decided to pick this deck for my Oracle of the Month, but now it totally makes sense. I just was drawn to it and to the animal energy and its artwork, so it came out. Now, after thinking about it, it totally makes sense being watercolor, getting a little bit more of that flowy, expressive, sometimes not really within the lines, not really constrained or locked within. And what I also loved is that you basically get the message from the card itself on the back. So it's pretty easy to use and not a lot of work to do. And the other reason why I chose this Oracle deck is because I really felt drawn to, in the beginning of the month, to work with the Spacious Tarot. And so I felt like that these two decks might work really well together, color palette wise, theme wise, because the Spacious Tarot is also really nature based, not necessarily all centered around animals, but there are some animals in it, especially in the court cards. And I really needed that space, that fresh air, that space and openness and easiness and simplicity that a Spacious Tarot was offering me. I didn't really feel comfortable in this emotional state or in my energy with a deck that had a lot of symbology, a lot of super highly detailed imagery, or a lot of things going on. I just needed room to breathe, and the Spacious Tarot is perfect for that. I also really felt drawn to the more softer, gentler color palette in here in most of the cards. And these two together are like, they are a power couple. I really expected them to work good together because they're both nature themed, and the artwork looks really cool together as well. Not necessarily because they the same art medium or art style, but it just works. Maybe also because of that wide space within the oracle as well. But boy, the reading they gave me, they were 100% on point, super fitting, super helpful, and it was an immediate click, an immediate connection there between these two decks and also between them and me. It just worked perfectly. I really fell in love with these two decks together, and this is a match made in heaven, and I really love working with them. So I actually struggle to change the decks now for the next month. But this power couple will never leave my collection. I love it. It just works for me. So now let's talk about crystals, and you already seen these crystals right here that I have worked with throughout the month of April. The first crystal that called out to me, actually let's shift the focus here, is Unakite. But Unakite was the first crystal that I was drawn to right at the beginning of the month. And it is because it's green, it's all around the heart chakra. And so, of course, it fitted in quite well with my emotional journey that I had throughout the month of April. And so it helps release negative energy and negative thought patterns, which I had, especially when it comes to expressing my emotions and to open up to other people. It helps one to visualize the things they most want in life. So follow your heart, what actually fills your cup, and not only doing the things that you think are expected from you or from from other people or from society. It's good for emotional balance, for connecting to your heart center, and it helps to relieve stress and tension, especially when it comes to relationships, emotional struggles, and all of that stuff. So, a really nice fit, actually. The next crystal that I was drawn to, and I discovered that I was drawn to it because I've seen it online on Instagram and social media and Crystal Life Sales, and I was like really, really drawn to the blue barite for some reason. Like, I just was like, oh, these are so pretty. I really want all of them. And so I'm like, well, maybe it's time to get your blue barrette out and work with it because you're obviously drawn to it like hell. And it's also pretty cool because it is a really soothing and calming crystal. And it's also good for expressing yourself because light blue, you're connected to your throat chakra and to your crown chakra. So it's really like helps you to reconnect to yourself, to your true inner self, putting all the layers of like beliefs and expectations and things you say you like or you want, but actually you don't want them or they don't fulfill you. You only do them or want to achieve them because you think that society or people around you expect it from you or that it's a social norm. So it's really good to reconnect with what you want to your true self. And it's also good for helping you to express what's ever on your mind, like to express yourself, your opinion, your viewpoints, your values, your beliefs, and also your emotions because it opens up your throat chakra. And in the end of the month, I really had the same thing with amethyst. So all of a sudden I was really drawn to these super dark purpley amethysts and also to some lighter amethyst crystals. And I have a lot of them. I've seen a lot of them around because it is a beginner friendly crystal. It is not super uncommon or rare. And it's a beautiful crystal as well. I love it, but I wasn't really drawn to it. Actually, I was in a phase where I was like, I've seen so much amethyst around. That's like, well, now it's time for something else. Yeah, I know amethyst right now. Can we just switch to something else, please? And all of a sudden, I really felt that push or pull towards it. And so it's a really good crystal. It's basically an all-rounder. So it is a good protection crystal. It is a good crystal for calming, helping you to sleep better and have a deeper sleep, for dream work as well. And I already mentioned I had a lot of intense emotional dreams. So it was good for my sleeping behavior and dream work there. It's also a good crystal to open your third eye chakra, your intuition, to connect to your higher self. It's protecting. And so for the same reason as blueberry, I connect to my higher self, to my truth, protecting me from false beliefs or influences from others that doesn't necessarily serve me, and also for my sleep and dream work that was needed. And this one is a really special one because it also has prehnite on it. And prehnite is a green crystal that is also, or mineral that is also connected to the heart chakra. So you not only have the metaphysical properties of amethyst, as I already mentioned, but you have combined it with prehnite, focuses it more on the emotional era and to your heart, which the month of April was all about. So these are the crystals that I worked with throughout the month of April. So now let's talk about games. So I have two games that I want to talk about with you guys in this video. First of all, it's Mist Survival. Um, and this is, as it already says, it is a survival game which is set in a apocalyptic world with zombies. And so it is set in a world which is torn by a virus outbreak, which basically killed humanity or most of humanity. And the few that have survived have transformed into zombies because of that virus. And you are one of the few that are immune to that. And so you're on this planet or on this world where you have to basically just survive. You have to find resources to build a home, to find shelter, to build weapons so that you're able to defend yourself, to find food and water and all of that stuff. And there are mist or fog events where these zombies then go on their hunt. And so when the fog appears, which is basically pretty randomly in the game, you have to look out for you and basically already have a safe spot to hide in where the zombies can't get you. The good thing is the zombies can't get out when it's day because they're weak to sunlight, and so they will die because of sunlight. So when it's a normal day, you're safe out there. But when the mist occurs to go to a hunt, or when it's night, they will be out there hunting. And so that is the whole premise of it. It's still in its development phase, so there are a lot of bugs and things that maybe are still work in progress or areas in progress, so where you can't attend or get into, or where are just empty rooms because the creator or developer is still working on it. But you know that going in because it really says it's still a work in progress, it's still in its development phase. And some of the bugs created some really funny moments where we just laughed really hard. And so it was a really fun one to just play along. And yeah, the other one is Palworld, and this is a pretty new one. It is quite a hype one in the gaming area right now. It is an actual adventure, survival, and monster taming game, which is set in an open world that you can explore. So you actually have some survival elements in there. You need some food. You can build and create your own house or even a little village with different things. You can grind stuff, collect stones, wood, metals, and all of that stuff, and build weapons and whatever, and you can explore the world, find some treasures, find some resources, but also find these little pals, um, like they are called in this game, and you can actually catch them a little bit like Pokemon, just not called like that. And then you can use them to fight against others. There are also some boss fights in there, but you can also use them in your village to do different kinds of works. And every pal has different abilities and things that they are good at or things that they are able to do that others can't do. So it's a really fun one to just play along without being too story heavy or too like hard to play. And it's really cute, like the way the paws are animated is really super cute, so it's a fun one to play. So now let's go to podcasts, and there I only have one podcast that is new. I still listen to the podcast that I talked about in my last ones, but there's one new one that I started listening and that I quite like because they are talking, or he is talking about a lot of interesting, thought provoking stuff that you can wrap your head around and put your own spin in it. And you can think about these topics for days and are coming to a solution. And I love that stuff. I love it. I'm a Sagittarius. I'm the philosopher. I'm the wanderer of the world. The large topics that are not really solved quite yet. I'm totally on it. And it's the WhyFiles. So he has a channel on YouTube, which I actually watch, where he does create a lot of videos, but he also has an accompanying podcast on Spotify or any other of your podcast platforms, where he goes a little bit deeper into the topics that he also already talked about in his YouTube videos, and also has additional topics that he doesn't upload to YouTube because of some reasons. And it covers basically some mysteries, myths, and legends, basically created for people like me who are fascinated with mysteries, myths, legends, and conspiracies. And they tell you the myth or the story or the legend. But he also does it then, like, gives you some facts that maybe science has already proven, that tie in with that myth, and also some things and that science has already proven that aren't true or that are just conspiracies, but they're already proven to be something different. And so I really love that part about it because it not only gives you the myth, but it also gives you a little tangible thing um, that ties it to our real world. And he is really honest and really well researched on it as well. All right, so that was the podcast. Now let's talk about TarotTube. And I have basically three things that I want to talk about. One is the second episode of Glitter and Gators, which is a collaborative live stream basically, but you can rewatch it because they upload the video afterwards, which is pretty cool because since I'm here in Germany, the time when they go live isn't really super good for me often, so I can rewatch it later. And it's by Danny Mystic and Lisa Papez, which I love. Both of them, I love them. And I love their collaboration because I love their two energies coming together. I love how they just have this magical flow together and they create something really good. They really add something to each other with their different viewpoints and opinions, but they have this really good chemistry with each other as well. And oftentimes, when they are more rambly, the topics and the results or solutions or stuff that they talk about that come out of these rambles are really, really, really good. And so I love that they actually decided to collaborate again and do this because I just love them together. And in this episode, in the second episode, there was also Dawn Michelle on there, and those three together were just amazing to listen to and watch. So I mean, I love Dawn Michelle's videos and channel also. So having three of my favorite tarot tubers together in one collaborative video talking about stuff is just perfect for me. And also, what they have done in this specific episode is they actually did a VR to the hashtag OCOT, and it talked about stuff like imposter syndrome, like that feeling that your videos have to be perfect, that your content has to be perfect and meaningful and helpful, and has to have a lot of facts and information in there. And if it doesn't have it, it's not worth posting it. That pressure that you put on yourself that isn't actually there. And that doesn't necessarily even come from the people that watch your channel or watch your videos, and realizing that it's all self-imposed. I really love that because I struggle with it a lot. And so to see that other people have the same problem or the same issue and the same thoughts appear, and they still manage to get these things done, it really helps me not only to see that I'm not alone with it, but also to see that it's manageable and that it's natural. Also, they talked about subscription numbers and tying that to, or how many people have viewed your content and tying that to self-worth, which is really problematic, but it's really easy to do. Like tying your self-worth or measuring your self-worth on things like how productive you were, how many tasks you have accomplished, how many successes did you have in your life. Also that thing of what you think other people might think about you when you are doing or saying or X, Y, and Z, and what they actually think are two different things, and sometimes they're complete opposites. And so that is the thing that I have experienced during this month as well, and them hearing them talking about it and actually bringing that experience that I had this month um, back was really cool too. Another thing that I really loved is the video series that Marilyn from Tarot Clarity does, currently, which is she is combining tarot and tarot readings with movies. And not any movies, but movies that she loves and she has watched over and over again. And those are basically really old historic vintage movies, like from the 30s and 40s. And so in the beginning of the video, she gives you the plot and what actually has happened, and some interesting insights also in terms of how it was produced at that time, or what the actors were, and what scandals and information and beliefs were around, and how the movie industry was at that time, which is quite interesting and fascinating to see that how all of that has functioned um, during that time. And I also love the way she describes the plot of the movie. There are pretty long rambles, so if you're not into long rambly videos where a person just talks, then these videos might not be for you. But I love the way she gives this content and the plot, and she talks about the movies. There's something about her love for them really comes through when she talks about it. And then in the end, she does different tarot readings on different questions that she has based on what has happened in the movie, but there was never really a conclusion to that. And so those are open endings, then where she then does tarot readings on to see what the ending might be like for that specific character in the movie. And the last thing that I want to talk about on TarotTube, which I enjoyed actually the last week or so, and I binge watched that playlist, is just some fun tarot readings on the UK royal family from New Angel Tarot. And normally, I'm not a person that just watches random tarot readings on TarotTube or YouTube. I don't find them interesting actually, but I think my tastes have changed because I really, really enjoyed these videos and I couldn't get enough. So I actually just watch these to relax in the evening. I really enjoyed those readings and I love her tone of her voice. I love her voice. I love the way she does these readings. And so they were really good videos to watch in the evening. So those were all the things that I wanted to talk about and show you guys. Let me know down in the comments what were your favorite decks, crystals, books, podcasts, TarotTube videos in the video description down below. I would really love to hear from you guys and to connect to you guys. Also, if you have any questions or thoughts about the things that I talked about and showed in this video, let me know down in the comments as well. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it was interesting for you. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here or if you haven't already, so that you don't miss any of the other videos that are coming up. And thank you guys for watching and sharing your valuable time with me. Until next time. Bye.